It's worth noting, just in case you've been living in a foxhole or something, or just haven't noticed the news in the last 16, 18 hours, something like that. A couple of Republican senators said, nah, we're not going to go with this repeal and replace thing that Mitch McConnell was trying to sell, which blew that up. And so now McConnell is saying, well, let's just pull the plug. Right? Let's just pull the plug. So before Obamacare, we had 57 million uninsured Americans in the United States. Right now, we have around 22 million uninsured Americans in the United States. So with the Republicans' repeal and replace, we would have gone back up. We would have added another 22 million uninsured. So we would have gone back up to 44 million uninsured. But if you just repeal altogether, we're back to 57 million uninsured. Nearly 60 million people. It's a massive. It's like. You almost wonder, there's all this, so fill in the blank country, right? Iran, Russia, Saudi Arabia, North Korea, the demon du jour in the American media. And the implicit assumption is that all these countries want to somehow take us down. Frankly, I don't think any of them want to take us down. Most of them just want to be left alone. But that's a whole other argument. But it sure looks like if anybody's going to take us down, it's going to be the petro-billionaires and the Republican Party that they own. It's amazing. Charles in Opelika, Florida. Hey, Charles, what's on your mind today? Thanks for listening to Sirius XM.
Hey, how you doing, Tom?
I'm great.
Oh, great. Okay, the reason I'm calling today is because, you think about these elections as far as George Bush, Barack Obama, and now Trump. And you're saying, like, what is it that's been a quagmire for each of these two different parties with Barack Obama and Trump starting off with their, their administrations? And we need to get away from healthcare. No matter what, we need, the first thing first has to be jobs. You have to put people to work. You have to start putting income in their pockets and making them feel good about themselves, and then you can get to healthcare. And I think that's what's stopping these Republicans now. Even though they lied to us since the beginning of the ACA, they never had a secondary plan. And, they just...
Well, that's because the ACA was a Republican plan. That was what Mitt Romney did in Massachusetts. The Heritage Foundation, fine-tuned it. It was originally proposed by Richard Nixon in '72. So the Republican plan was Obamacare. And now the Republicans are stuck with, they got nothing. It's amazing.
That's the thing about it. They've been campaigning. It's just always been a lie. And what we need to also understand is this: we need to get away from this slave labor that's in our system right now. That's in the economy. Mm-hmm. We need to build our wages because, like I called you before, and I told you, since President Clinton, once we put all of Americans to work like he did, and we actually got a surplus in the budget instead of a deficit, you have companies that's taking their businesses elsewhere, out of this country.
Right.
And until we introduce some type of entrepreneurship or small business program where regular Americans can have their chance at a dream of sole propriety or building their own corporations, we're not going to break the system that we're under right now. It's a slave labor mentality where they're just paying us poor wages, where we have to fight and fend for everything. And by them doing so, we can't pay attention to all the other crap that they're doing, as far as legislation.
Yep.
As far as pitting the Republicans against Democrats as far as the racial lines are concerned as well. All of these things, it's just like a perfect storm. This is what the Republicans want you. On your heels, not knowing what's next. And this is not, this isn't the way that you expect to live in this country, not a country as great, as America. So we have the opportunities, but what we need to understand is there's just some structures that's built to stop us. And the first thing first, we need to fight for our minimum wage. Then we can fight for our health care, which is going to be single payer or, Medicaid for all. We just can't involve insurance companies in this anymore because we end up dying no matter what. Someone died.
Yeah. No, I'm totally with you, Charles. As always, you knocked it out of the park. You absolutely nailed it. And in fact, And thank you for the call, Charles. And to that point, I've got a piece that was published this morning on Alternet.org. It's titled "A 21st Century Form of Indentured Servitude Has Already Penetrated Deep into the American Heartland." The subtitle, "Corporations Want to Make Sure That Laborers Never Again Have the Power to Tell Big Business How to Treat Them." And it's about the indentured servitude that you were talking about. And, I point out this type of labor system has been the dream of conservative corporatists, particularly since the Reagan Revolution kicked off a major federal war on the right of workers to organize for their own protection from corporate abuse. And, this is not a secret. This is what they're up to.
Want to connect with the show online? You can find the Thom Hartmann Program on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
You can support the Thom Hartmann Program and see video of our entire 3-hour show over at patreon.com/Thom Hartmann.